Hey y'all, welcome to Life on Hilton Creek. I'm Mimi.
I'm Paul.
And we're going to have just a minute of chit chat with you and let you know what all has been going on with us and our family and the amazing changes that are taking place. So we have 2 children. Our oldest is Kevin. He lives a mile that way. Our youngest is Tyler. He lives a mile that way. Both married, both with the grandkids that you guys see on the videos all the time. And Tyler, they've outgrown their house. They lived in a tiny little farmhouse, and they've just outgrown it with 2 kids that are growing and 3 horses that are and trying to do rodeo and all the things, and they've just outgrown it. And I'm not sure I ever made a formal announcement, but I have rheumatoid disease, and we have this farm that we manage, and Pa still works a public job. So we decided to do a flip-flop, and Tyler and Jessica are buying our house, and we are going to remodel our farmhouse. So we're literally moving across the street.
Yep.
Now, backstory, we got married in 1986 after 6.5 years of courtship. And I grew up in Nashville. He went to school in Nashville. And we bought a 119-acre farm just over the hill here. And when our boys got big enough to be into ball and karate and all the things, and we didn't have time anymore, we sold our farm and moved over here. So we went from 119 acres to 3 acres and bought a boat.
Yeah.
And started playing around with wakeboarding and a little cabin on the lake, and teenagers coming to the house to ride the boat, and just all the things you do in that season of your life, and while the boys were young and teenagers and growing up. Then it didn't last very long. We got right back into cows and farming, and we leased this farm over here, directly across the street from where we lived. And it belonged to a mother and daughter who lived here, and we started leasing their property, bought some cows, and just jumped right back into it full force.
Yeah.
Which has led us, we've been in that house almost 30 years. So it led us right back into farming, grandkids farming, the whole 9 yards. And that's really a short synopsis. A whole lot of stuff happened in between that, right?
Yeah.
So we are downsizing a little bit, and well, quite a bit actually. And we are going to gut the farmhouse and remodel it. I'm going to get the kitchen of my dreams. Pa's going to get the shop of his dreams. And we're going to actually live on the farm instead of across the street from the farm, if that makes any sense. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So what we've been doing for the last month is packing and moving 30 years, well, actually almost 40 years we've been married. Almost 40 years of stuff. And that's a lot of stuff. I'm a keeper. He's a keeper. So, yeah. Luckily, we had a dump trailer, and we literally backed it up to this house and took 2 massive loads to the landfill out of this house, and then we backed it up to our house, and I cleaned out our attic, our everything.
Mm.
And we took another load to the landfill. Got rid of a lot of stuff. Some things I couldn't part with. Some things I could. Some of you mamas out there will understand that those little special things from school are hard to get rid of. You know, I realize that my oldest son is 37 and has his own kids, but that little handprint painting is still hard to throw away. So, we are in the process of, next week, they should be here to start demo on the inside of this house.
Yep.
We're excited. I've had a tender moment or two.
Yep. They've set the forms to pour the slab for the new shop, so
We are well on our way. Now, luckily, we have a friend, Michelle, who a couple of years ago moved up this way after retirement to be close to family. And we're staying at her house, thank goodness, or we are homeless temporarily.
Yeah.
We're homeless. So we're staying with her for a while, but it should be, what did they say? After the demo, 90
about
days?
90
90
90 business days.
business days, give or take, obviously, if they run into something or if something goes quicker than expected. So it could be more, it could be less. We'll take what we can get because we got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So we're pretty excited. On another video, I will give you a tour inside before they gut it. Just so y'all know what we're doing and just so we have a memory of what it looked like before. It is 110 on this porch, literally at 6 o'clock at night, and we are pouring the sweat.
Yeah.
It is so hot in Tennessee. Everything is crunchy. Everything is dry. The trees are already losing their leaves. It's incredible. And no rain inside.
No. And we should preface that by saying Middle Tennessee, because I think West Tennessee is getting plenty of rain.
Oh, okay. Middle Tennessee. We are actually about 60 miles east of Nashville. So, Middle Tennessee. Pa's going to get his shop. Well, how big's your door going to be?
The big doors are going to be 12 foot tall, 14 foot wide.
And why is that?
Stack on my tractor, I guess. I don't know. But
So he can be sure and get all of his equipment in there if it needs to be worked on. Gonna organize tools.
the little door is going to be 10 by 10.
10 by 10. That's not very big.
It's big enough to back the flatbed in.
Oh,
And
well.
park it indoors.
We're gonna have a carport. So Mimi can park her car under a carport. It's gonna be really nice to be on the farm and have a nice workshop and have a nice house. Our house was great where we were, but it's 3 bedrooms and 2 baths and 2 people. So we had a lot of wasted space that we weren't using. We also had an apartment in the back that we had built for my mother, and Tyler's mother-in-law is moving into that. So it worked out perfect for them. It's come full circle. It's worked out well. And we're gonna be great. We're gonna be great. Hopefully we'll be in it by Christmas.
Maybe.
That would be pretty awesome. But if we're not, it's okay. We are blessed beyond measure. And that's all I got to say about that. We are blessed beyond measure. We rolled up a gooseneck trailer in front of the house and just started loading it up with stuff, giving it away free. We didn't have time to fool with the yard sale. So we were just putting comforters and pieces of furniture. We got a doghouse out there now. Clothes. I can't, I don't even know what all we put out there. But almost every bit of it is gone. We keep adding new stuff and it keeps disappearing. So that's fine with us. If it helps somebody else and gets out of our way, that's a blessing times two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess that's about all, ain't it?
Yeah.
We got more hay to cut.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it?
We'll cut it sooner or later. A lot of people's cutting right now, but it's kind of thin. And this drought is stressing the Johnson grass, so there's a risk of nitrate poison in the stems. So kind of on the border of should I cut and risk that. Of course, you could test for it. You pull a forage test and it'll tell you whether it's got it in there at dangerous levels.
Is that after you roll it, like the forage test we do?
Yeah. I mean, it's part of it.
Yeah.
But
so we may have to do that before we feed anything we cut.
yeah, unless we get a little rain. If we get any kind of measurable rain, then we can cut it 5 days after that, and the nitrates will flush out. So.
Oh, okay.
So
And
I'm
this
thinking kind of mid to third week of September is when I'm shooting for, if the Lord.
And this is all new information we've discovered this year, right?
Yeah, pretty well. We've known it existed, but we've never experienced dry weather at the level we're experiencing this year since we've been cutting hay. You know, the Johnson grass, there's everybody knows the risk about it frosting on it. If it comes a good hard frost on Johnson grass, it converts the sugars into prussic acid in the leaves, and it's poison to critters. So you don't want to turn anything in. That's the same with sorghum Sudan and a couple of other those crosses, hybrids. So always knew about that. But after the frost hits it and it dies, it's okay after that. So and that kind of bleaches out the nitrates. If we bale it with the nitrates in it, the nitrates are going to stay in it. So we got to make sure that. I think I'm going to just wait and hope for a rain in the next week or two, and then start putting it on the ground.
And it'll be the usual. It'll be all the fields as usual.
Yeah.
So,
it's just going to be light. So we had an extremely heavy yield in the spring, and we're going to have very light yield. So should be an average year at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. We did very well in the spring. Mm-hmm. Not hardly double, but at least time and a half what we usually do. And boy, we know how lucky that is now.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the abundance we thought. It's going to be the necessity we thought. Right?
Yeah. And so, we managed to have a good harvest on the spring hay, which is kind of more desirable anyway.
Yeah. So that's about it for us. There's more to come, and definitely a shout out to Monroe. We told y'all about the airbags we put on the truck, and you want to tell them what you did? He took his truck back to the dealer he bought it from.
Oh yeah. I drove the sales rep. He's a commercial, does the commercial fleet sales and everything, so I carried it back down there and took him for a ride in it, and he was very impressed.
He was quite impressed.
He was. He couldn't believe the difference it made. So Monroe has a top-notch product.
They sure do, and shout out to them for the goodies they sent.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. That was really awesome, and. This is not a sponsored video by any stretch. We just, he hunted it up on the internet and found them, and they had some good reviews, and we definitely sing their praises.
Yeah, that's right.
That truck rides like a different truck.
Completely different truck.
And I am thrilled.
Yeah.
He don't mind being bounced around too much, but it gets tiresome when you're driving. We live on back roads and drive it on the farm and do all of that, and man, it will just bump your head, and it was awful. And now it rides as good as any pickup truck. Any pickup truck.
About like a 3/4 ton now.
Oh, I think it's even better than that. It's very, very nice. So anyway, shout out to them. We appreciate y'all, and we appreciate your product even more. Whew.
Yep.
Saved us. And we are recommending it to anybody and everybody too.
That has one of those trucks.
Yes, yes, definitely. So that's all for us today. We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And I was trying to think, there ain't nothing else.
No, that's it. Let's go.
So y'all be blessed, and remember, you're never alone.